Our next inductee for the 2015 is the fourth generation leader of his family's business, which was started by his great-grandfather in 1895. What makes that so remarkable is how his business, handed down over several generations, has continued to grow and prosper in spite of seismic changes in Northwest Indiana and the banking industry. Remarkable, yes, but for those of us who know Mike Schrage, not surprising. His employees and fellow business leaders will tell you that he is a hands-on leader who views his role as a head coach, recruiting talent, setting the strategy, and envisioning the future. He is proud that Centier Bank has been rooted in Northwest Indiana for so many years, and that his family's promise to remain independently owned and operated includes a commitment for future generations to come. Centier Bank has grown from 40 employees in 1971 to a team of 750 employees, and there are plans to expand. But Centier isn't the only organization to benefit from Mike's leadership. He has used his talents and philosophy to help so many local organizations over his 42-year career, including the American Red Cross, the Northwest Indiana Symphony, St. Jude House, and the American Heart Association, to name a few. There are many admirable qualities about this inductee, but he has one attribute that the Times Business and Industry Hall of Fame members cannot do without. Mike Schrage never stops talking about the future. Please help me congratulate Centier President, CEO, and Chairman of the Board, Mike Schrage.
I stand up here today not alone. I'm being honored, but there are so many people around me who have led me and to this position that I have today, the positions and where the bank has come from and where we're going. So I wanted to honor some of them today also. We're only as strong as the people we surround ourselves by, including my wife Jill and the family, and building the strong bonds of a family that can sustain a legacy for many generations to come. I'm fortunate to have two son-in-laws and a daughter on a daily basis in the business. And I'm working on my grandkids right now. So they're a little young, 5, 4, 3, and 2. But I certainly have plans for them. And it's been, as we say, a 42-year journey for me. And I was sitting down with some insurance consultants yesterday, and they told me my life expectancy. So I think it was 87 or something like that. So I've got a good 20 years more. So I feel like I'm about 2/3 of the way through my career. And there have been so many people that have assisted me and taken the time, energy to educate me, to show me the ropes, find the ways, look outside yourself for the vision, the future, the dream you want to accomplish. Certainly my dream is to preserve this Schrage family bank for many generations to come. And people know about our not-for-sale pledge, and I stand by it day after day. Came out with it many years ago, and at most functions people said, nah, don't give me that, especially when they'd had a few drinks. You know, if somebody offered you $1 billion for your bank, you mean to tell me you wouldn't sell it? I said, that's what I mean to tell you. They are family. I have 763 associates that I work alongside of day in and day out. And you can't put a price on family. There's no price that would be high enough for me to give up everything we have done in our journey to be what I perceive as the future community bank. Private, independently owned, focused on the communities that we serve. not being bossed around by New York stock analysts as a public company has to do, but we can throw a party and said, hey, our earnings are going to be a couple pennies less than this quarter, but we really had a good time at our 120th anniversary. So, in going back, certainly I credit, I think in the article, my mother with creating tenacity and drive and competitiveness, and she was my mentor. My sister was here today, and sibling could not ask for a better sister who kind of let me do my own thing with the bank. She worked there one summer and said, Dad, I don't want anything to do with it. So, you know, a lot of times siblings quarrel in their business together, but I was certainly blessed with a sister who let me spread my wings, pursue my dreams. When I originally came in the bank in 1972, the bank, as we said, was very small, $30 million, kind of like a savings and loan. And my goal was to be the biggest bank in Lake County. We now have 53 offices throughout the northern half of Indiana, and as we said, the largest independently, privately owned bank in the state. So I'm well on my way to my dreams and look forward to the next 20 years. As I proceeded through my early years, one of the other influential people in my life was Colin Stetson, who was my wrestling coach at Culver Academy, who picked out this 5'2", 89-pound kid and said, I'm going to make a wrestler out of him. And he took me to my limits, past my limits, and it has served me so well over the years to realize what you can do. And it was through his coaching that I had the strong desire when I got out of college to go into the coaching profession and influence lives of the younger people coming along. He also influenced me later on when I came back, and I was in a valley. As we know, the area here through the early 80s had quite a downsizing, and it was almost depression-ish. And I was pretty down on things, having almost lost the bank. And he once again picked me up and said, Mike, here's a book, read it. And it was by Og Mandino. And it was the greatest salesman in the world, and Mandino wrote a lot of other books, The Rag Picker, The Greatest Miracle in the World, on and on and on. And he started to bring in the positiveness, and no matter what the challenge is ahead of you, you surround yourself with the right people, you can accomplish just about anything you set your mind to. And it was after that and prior to that, that when I started in the business, there was another coach and mentor, Herman Stauffer, who's with me today, came up from Florida to attend today. He taught me the retail side of banking and what it means to really appreciate and go out of your envelope of self-concept and wanting to be the biggest and the best and the this and that, and really serve the public, serve the community. And when I went through a major illness in the 1993 with chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was out of the bank for 5 months as the president's CEO and never could attend, and it took me over 15 to 18 months to get over it. He was the one that came over about a week or two after I was diagnosed, and I'm laying on the couch because I couldn't do much else, and he said, here, read this. And I said, what's that? He said, it's a New Testament. And he said, it will help you along. This is the best thing that could have happened to you. And I said, really? It doesn't feel like it. Come down here in the swamp with me. It hurts. And, panic attacks and depression and all the other things. And in our journey as individuals, we do go through those valleys. And it's the strength of the people that we've surrounded ourselves with that really pull us through. You can stay in the valley a long time if you want to, but surround yourself with family, friends, workers who are there to support you and lift you up, give you the strength and the courage to face anything that you have to face in life, illness, financial difficulty, whatever it happens to be. And from that time, I became passionate about reading. I read 75 books a year and have since 1993, when the grandkids don't get in the way anyway. And, I reach out to you and say, open your eyes to the world. We all get myopic in our businesses here in Northwest Indiana. You really need to have that exposure, and whether you get it through Young Presidents Organization or other state or national type things. Mine was reading on the world, reading about the Disneys, the Starbucks, Amazon, Zappos, whatever it happens to be. And I read all business books on branding, marketing, positioning, leadership, management. I feel like I'm at the fourth stage of leadership. And that is, to me, the coaching stage, as I said in the article. There is a fifth stage that I intend to practice and work at in my remaining third of a career of the next 20 years, and that is on mentorship. I have not been a good mentor to most people. I see that as the fifth level of leadership, where you really share yourself, you develop other leaders. And that is my goal in the next 20 years, is to mentor many people through leadership centers, academies outside the bank, at Culver Academy and other places. And I couldn't have gotten by without my senior team who are here today on the bank, with my two assistants, Brenda Stilo and Donna Hammersmith, who have been with me for many years in a long journey, picking me up whenever I was down, encouraging me when you're discouraged. I thank them for making me the specialness that you saw in me, that the Times saw in me, and I still have a lot to give to Northwest Indiana, and I intend to do so. God bless you all.